I was thinking about this. A lot of people assume that I'm here to tell people what they should buy and what they should choose. I'm not. I'm here to help you think about your situation, ask good questions, and figure out what's best for you. Some people think it's a technical channel where I might be telling you how to fix things. Or you might think it's a channel where you might get advice on what the best equipment is, who makes the best furnaces, which air conditioners perform the best. The reality is, I don't do any of that. I try to help homeowners figure out what's going to be their best options, help people understand how to be a good shopper, how to analyze your current situation, and then plan for the future. The majority of the people that watch this channel and that I communicate with on a daily basis are people that have a home. They're planning on staying in it for a while. They may have been there for a long time, or maybe they just purchased it, but they're not moving from house to house frequently. They like to spend their money wisely and choose equipment and make decisions that are in their best interest and for the long term. I get a lot of people that are nearing retirement or have already retired, and they want to set themselves up for the future and to be more comfortable than they've been in the past. Budget is always something that people keep in mind, and that's a really good thing to focus on because there's a lot of equipment out there, there's a lot of companies you can deal with, and there's a lot of choices that you can make. I like to make sure that people look at the whole picture of what they're trying to deal with, whether it is replacing a furnace or maybe adding things to make a house more comfortable. Humidifiers, air filters, UV lights, HRVs, ERVs, all kinds of equipment that you could choose from. But it's always a good idea to try and ask yourself, what is working in my house and what isn't working and that I'd like to improve. Quite often I get a lot of people that go away for months at a time because maybe they have retired, maybe you've retired, and you want the security to know that whatever you have in your home is going to be reliable. You're not going to be dealing with a phone call from thousands of miles away back at your home saying, you need to deal with something right now because maybe the heat's not on. Maybe there's the risk of things freezing, or maybe there's been some other kind of malfunction that whoever you've had checking on your home has discovered. There's a lot of different things that I provide on this channel, a lot of different conversations that we have, but I try to cover a little bit of everything. But everything is to keep you in mind and to help you understand what you're dealing with, analyze your situations, and make really good decisions. A lot of the things I talk about are seasonal because depending on when you're viewing this, we may be coming into fall and winter, or we may be moving into spring and summer. Furnace season is one particular time of the year that we're very busy, but even more so is the air conditioning season. It seems to me like people are more anxious and want to deal with things quicker when it comes to staying cool in the summer than when their furnace fails in the wintertime. I never really quite understood that, but people get downright impatient when their air conditioner fails, but they're not quite as excited, even though their house might be cold. It doesn't seem to bother them as much. Now, maybe you're not like that. Maybe you're the opposite. But I do get all kinds of situations. So the stuff that I talk about is quite often seasonal. Another thing that I do a lot of is I try to give you an insight into what I get asked every day. Every day I'm out to see new clients, new customers. A lot of times we end up doing the work for them. Sometimes I'm just doing an estimate. Sometimes I'm just giving an opinion, and they may not be planning on doing anything right now. Every appointment that I attend is enjoyable. The people, probably just like you, I find very interesting. I'm never in a hurry, and I'm not trying to push people into doing something. Of course, my company wants me to bring in a lot of business, and of course, any company would be like that. But the way I do things is to take extra time, try and really understand what you're looking for, and what can I do to help. My experience sometimes sheds really good views on things that people don't even consider or haven't even thought about. But I've also run into it where I've been dealing with engineers or people that have really done their homework, and sometimes I find something new or something that I hadn't heard about. And I really like it when that happens, because when I leave, I quite often will look into it a little bit further, and then I increase my knowledge base, and I have something interesting to tell the next person. I've also run into things where people have a certain idea about what they want to do, and once we talk it through, they find out that maybe there's a better way, and maybe there's some information that they hadn't really thought about, which they found very helpful. I also deal a lot with sons and daughters and other relatives that are helping their older parents. And quite often I am working remotely in that case. Maybe they've asked me to come over and look at their parents' home and give them a really good analysis of what their situation is. And assuming that their parents want to stay longer, they just want them to be comfortable. Quite often it happens where the parents are getting older and they're just not as warm and comfortable as they used to be. Maybe the house is actually working the same as it always did, but their needs have changed. And we want people to be comfortable. Some people are more sensitive to the heat and the cold than they used to be, and that's where those adjustments come in. Maybe it's changing equipment, maybe it's just changing a thermostat or doing something fairly simple. But all of those things considered, this channel is about providing as much service and as much insight to you as I can. Hopefully I make it entertaining. I'm not really that funny, although sometimes I make myself laugh at some of the situations I've seen. I don't think I'll ever be accused of being a comedian. I try to make it at least interesting, and hopefully you'll find some value in the channel. I always end everything I say with stay comfortable and please stay tuned, because even though the video you might be watching right now isn't that appealing to you, there might be something down the road that you find fits right into your situation. A lot of times I deal with rental properties, and the homeowners are not able to come to the property, and I go in and have a look at everything and give them the assessment. We deal with a lot of short-term rental companies as well. We do a huge amount of business with those companies. Sometimes they have hundreds of owners that they're dealing with their properties for them. I've been fortunate that the majority of the ones in my area do deal with us, and they've been very satisfied with our service. But again, it comes right down to analyzing a situation, providing options, working out quotes with various choices, and then if we earn the business, then we complete it on time and on budget. If someone's just collecting quotes, that's okay too. Sometimes we do the work right away, sometimes it's a little bit down the road, and sometimes we never actually do it. But it's pretty much all the same to me. I work the same way day in and day out. Every job is different, but the way I handle them are pretty much all the same. So when I get referred from one person to the next, the new people that I'm visiting, they've been told how I'm going to deal with them, and quite often they say, you know what, we are very happy that you came to see us, and we will figure out what we can do. Hopefully we can do some business together. Stay comfortable, and please stay tuned.